good. Don't know what time it is. I have no idea what time it is. I am going to make a review. I did a review of the older kids' homeschool. So I figured me and Jacob are almost done. We're not completely done. We're on, I've got the page on 119 in his math. It goes to 140. So we are so close. I've been doing 3 lessons a day, just trying to get caught up. So I am going to review some of these if you're interested, okay? First, I'm going to start off with this. This is Rightstart Mathematics. I have had this curriculum for, let's see, 11 years, something like that. I bought a curriculum called Noah's, I think it was called Noah's Plan, but it was Noah, and that stood for something I forgot now. Back when my 16-year-old was
Homeschool?
when he was starting school, I did him the first year and I was overwhelmed. I had no guidance from nobody. I liked the curriculum idea. I was just not prepared for none of that. That curriculum is heavy. I might show it one day on here too. Just you come to find out that curriculum is better off in a large co-op. And I was not in, I was a single mother just surviving, okay? So this came with that though. So when I started to talk about homeschooling my kids, the end of not this past year, but the year before, I remembered I had this. Now, when you buy this, at that time, I paid like $900 for this because it comes with all kinds of, cards and abacus, and it comes with, back up, please. You know that you're going to get in trouble. No, you know it. You're up here when I've asked you not to be. But it comes with all kinds of, like, prisms, and I mean it's a kit. It comes in a kit. Okay, Rightstart Mathematics. Love this. I'm not being, the only thing that I would say in a negative statement is that it is 140 lessons. But had I paid attention, I guess I could have prepared better for that. We did all of our other curriculums that I'm going to show you are 3 days a week, and this one is not. This one would have had to have been 5 days a week from the beginning, and I probably could have made it. I've not did the math to see if I would have made it, but it's 140 lessons. It is a very good teaching method. Okay, I'm not a math. I know very little about math. Okay, but it doesn't come in grades neither. This is level B. I had level A and I had to buy level B. It just literally lays out what you say. If you want to pause it, you can. And it gives you up in the top what's needed for the day. And it also comes with worksheets and things like that, and you copy. But when you buy the kit, you have everything you need. The only thing we haven't used a lot is the math games. There's a book of math games, and he enjoys the games. Like that's not it. It's the amount of time that the games take on top of trying to do the lesson is why we do not do them. But I thoroughly enjoy this book. It's got it on the back, and I looked it up one time and don't remember. This will not take them to high school. Okay, so I will probably switch to Matthew C. But right now he is in level B. He'll go to level C next year. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, this goes through like the end of elementary. But this is supposed to teach differently. And like I said, I'm not good at math. I just know it teaches him good. He does very well with the way that this teaches. I could read the back if you want me to, but I'm not going to. You can look it up on the website for it. But I highly recommend. Now Matthew C is what I use for my high schoolers, and I highly recommend that for my high schoolers. But I started with this, and I don't even know if Matthew C goes this low. They probably do. But I know this does not go to high school, so I'm going to have to switch. But I had all the pieces, and I wasn't going to spend the money. We used the Generations curriculum. there's a few things I took out, a few things I'd say I wouldn't need. A few books come with it, and I liked the idea when I got them. But the books are kind of verbally ahead for him. They're kind of written in some of the older English ways, and he hears it, but it's every couple words, and he's just trying to hang on. So we don't really read those anymore. I can grab them. But the history,
we don't do that no more.
well, we finished it. We finished this history, taking the Middle East for Jesus, and this is the book. I guess you could call it a series, and it keeps going throughout grade levels. It just changes the cover and the stories change. I loved this book. This book gave him stories of whether it be a martyr or just a missionary or something like that. And then you had the workbook to match and give questions concerning what you learned in that chapter. This is also three, I think it was 3 days a week. It has a schedule in the front. Like this week, week 7 of I don't know what quarter that is, but it tells you what pages to read and what to cover in your textbook. But it's only 3 days out of the week is what you do these. So we thoroughly enjoyed this. I finished this one. I actually, some of the words are a little ahead for, he's in 2nd grade, so some of the words are a little ahead. I read this. He read the reading, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But that was just a good equal way, because some of the words were a little, the names, I struggled with some of the names. I'm not a great reader, but I'm not a terrible reader. And they were just like different cultural names, and I struggled. So this book was our reading. It is biblical stories done on
Have we got that far yet?
yeah, we've done read this one. A jealous king. I'm sure it's talking about King Saul and David. But it just goes through some Bible. It's in order, but it's not every story. I think they cover more, as they get older.
Right.
But just this particular one, which was level 2, we really enjoyed this one too. This one is more skippable. I did notice that this one does not, because each story is new, it is more skippable. So if you had to skip a lesson during a day, this one is easily skippable, and you don't suffer at all. The workbook follows whatever story you're talking about. It just asks them to write the answers to a couple questions pertaining to the story. It's got some word searches in it. We typically try to just stay with the vocabulary side of it, because some of the words were a little bit bigger. Like this one is heavy, desire, guests, all right, and whoever. And he uses those and puts them in a sentence. Same general thing each week, each day. But this one, like I said, is skippable. Like if you're running out of time or if you got somewhere to go, this one, and you don't miss anything. And the last one for this, and ignore the coffee. You can't really
And
see
ignore the dog.
This was English for 2nd grade, English 2, in the Generations curriculum. Since this is my first year homeschooling, but I have subbed in my kids' school, so I was kind of up on like what goes on, but I've never taught an English curriculum. I enjoy this, and there's some changes that I would make. One thing I noticed that I just finally I kind of grasped onto quickly is the last page typically of the lesson would have a note at the top of something you're learning. Like this one is capitalization, but it'll talk about verbs and it'll talk about all that. It's on the last page. I did not like that. I think that needs to be at the beginning of the chapter. So what I would do after I kind of caught on what was going on, I would grab the last page, read that little paragraph here, and then it tells you, when you need to that one tells you when you need to capitalize. Another one, I was going to, like this one, it talks about a comma. this little section right here talks about a comma and where you put a comma. Well, that's the, it's the last page. So I would just read it first. It goes every day, or this is a 3-day curriculum. So say you do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's just assume like that's what we did. So Monday, you get a list of words and you go over those words. You spell those words. You talk about how many syllables those words have. And then the next day, you get another list of words. And same thing. You do the same thing again. And then on day 3, you do actually, that page is ripped out because I always ripped it out. It's a spelling test. And that's what, I never did do it as a legit test. He did his best at spelling the words because 2 days.
Forget it.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 words most of the time. So he had 20 words in 2 days. I didn't think he was going to be able to spell those. So I did not do, I told him to do his best, and we talked about the spelling of each word. And if he didn't get close, we talked about it and he spelled it correctly, and that was what we did. Now, let me go grab the books. So in the curriculum that I bought, these 4 books came with that. It took me a minute to find a schedule for these books. I didn't know where to put it in because they're just books. I think later I will get him to read these, not in 2nd grade. We began to read Mary Jones and Her Bible. It was this one. And it's a true story about a little girl, and her Bible. Go. No, you're not sitting there.
I'm letting me and Captain sit
swing. And we did not finish. I don't know what year. Let me see if I can figure this out. Nope, it doesn't say. I would have to go back and look when the original was wrote. But some of the words, he could not read it by himself. I had to read it, which was fine. But he was barely hanging on. Just in the well, I mean, I just literally just picked one out of my eyeball.
You like that stick?
I mean, any of it. And it's in a different country, too. So, like, some of the, like, I think this is somewhere near Wales. It says, nor was the appeal without effect, a thrill of sympathy with a people that so longed and thirsted for the word of God ran through the assembled meeting. An earnest desire took possession of Mr. Charles's hearers to do something towards supplying the great need which he so touchingly advocated, and the hearts of many were further stirred and their sympathies quickened when one of the secretaries of the committee, the Reverend Joseph Hughes, rose and in reply, great story, but he's in 2nd grade. He was grabbing every couple words and he could kind of keep up with the story. He can read them later, okay? And I want him to read them later. A lot of these we didn't even touch. That was the only one we touched. So you could leave them out. But I enjoy building my library. I don't have anywhere to store it. This one's Christie's Old Organ. Haven't read it. Don't even know what it's about. This one is Life is an Adventure. And this one is The Preacher in the Emperor's Court. Don't know. I don't know what it's about. But, like I said, I want him to read later. These were just, in my opinion, a little bit too high for 2nd grade. Definitely to read by himself. But I read them, and there was no clear when to read them. I printed off, finally, I found a schedule on an email after when I ordered, and it was a schedule to when to read them, and it was like 3 days a week you read, which that's what we did for a long time. So there is my review. If I have some more stuff, it would be a very loose review because of the Noah plan, because it was so over my head. Like you would have to be, in my opinion, a thorough,
You like being with me?
not thorough, a well-seasoned teacher or something to understand the layout of all those papers. I mean, and it was just, it's heavy. I'll put a review on here, and I tried to sell it. Nobody even wanted it because it is so, it's not kid friendly at all. At all. They had a, that teaches French. I don't know what I was thinking. French, art, all, and you get all these books, and I paid a fortune. The math book is all that I have used. Now, I have the Constitution now, and I got a Webster's 1828 dictionary out of it, and a couple more books that I haven't even opened, like the history of the Christian church or something like that. But that's my review. I'll try to kind of keep up with our reviews as we're continuing school. Like I said, this was our first year doing it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would not trade it for nothing. Being able to teach my kid about the Lord, or all my kids about the Lord. I teach 3 high schoolers and my 2nd grader. 2 of the high schoolers are my children. The other 2 is their best friend. And like I said, I wouldn't trade it. I enjoyed our schedule. I enjoyed being able to just kind of wing what we did. So I learned a good bit this past year about what needs to be taught. Jacob, I'm probably going to stay on the same path with him. I liked the Generations curriculum. He was learning pretty good. I'll see what they have in grade 3. So that's the end of my video. Y'all have a wonderful day.